Well, I think this is part 3. Inside the country that kills illegal immigrants, Poland.
The issue of Islamization in Europe, under the guise of multiculturalism, has stirred unease and provoked heated debates across the continent. Many European nations, once champions of open borders and multicultural societies, are now grappling with the unintended consequences of mass immigration from Muslim-majority countries. The European Union's policy of dispersing immigrants, particularly from Islamic nations, among member states has led to significant tensions. Poland, in particular, has emerged as a staunch opponent of this policy, refusing to accept refugees from the Islamic world. This refusal led to condemnation by the European Court of Justice for violating EU agreements. However, rather than bowing to pressure, Poland has doubled down on its stance, emerging as a prominent voice within the EU and the broader Western world on the issues of illegal Muslim immigration. Poland's approach is not merely about border control or demographic shifts. It reflects a deeper commitment to safeguarding its cultural heritage, sovereignty, and way of life in an increasingly globalized world. Poland's approach to immigration, particularly from Muslim-majority countries, is rooted in a desire to preserve its cultural and national identity. The country and its people have been vocal about its concerns regarding mass immigration, particularly from Muslim-majority countries. The right-wing party of Poland argues that such immigration poses a threat to Poland's Catholic and Slavic cultural identity, as well as its national security. This perspective gained significant traction during the European migrant crisis of 2015, when millions of refugees and migrants, primarily from Syria, Iraq, and Afghanistan, sought asylum in Europe. While Western European countries like Germany and Sweden welcomed these migrants, Poland, alongside Hungary and the Czech Republic, resisted the EU's migrant quota system. Poland's government justified its position by emphasizing the need to protect its citizens from potential security risks associated with radical Islam. This view has resonated with a large portion of the Polish population, who fear that an influx of Muslim immigrants could lead to social unrest, terrorism, and the erosion of Poland's traditional values. At the heart of Poland's opposition to illegal Muslim immigration is a desire to preserve its cultural identity. Poland is a predominantly Catholic country with a strong sense of national pride and historical consciousness. The memory of past invasions and occupations, particularly by the Ottoman Empire and the Soviet Union, has instilled in Poles a deep-seated fear of losing their sovereignty and cultural uniqueness. Poland's leaders have argued that accepting large numbers of Muslim immigrants could dilute the country's Catholic heritage and lead to cultural conflicts.
I am fearful of such a tendency, such a trend, which is clearly visible, very much visible in France, in Germany, and in other countries. Muslim migrants from the Middle East who are coming to Germany and France and other countries, and who want to change their culture of those countries, those nations. I am clearly opposing to such attempts. I'm admiring French culture, I'm admiring Spanish culture and the British culture, but I also admire my Polish culture, and I want to preserve it. I want to nurture it. I don't want it to be destroyed by Muslim migrants coming from the Middle East or from Africa.
Moreover, Poland's stance is also...
What's funny is they say that it's all about, they want to save cultures, everyone should have their what they want to do is destroy everyone's culture, okay, and just make it a mixed match of everything, just so we're all divided and in different boxes, speaking different languages. They don't care about culture. They want to destroy Poland's culture. They want to destroy Germany's culture, UK's culture, all their cultures.
Also influenced by its historical experience of maintaining its identity under foreign rule. For over a century, Poland was partitioned and occupied by neighboring powers. Yet it managed to preserve its language, religion, and traditions. This historical resilience has shaped Poland's contemporary approach to immigration, leading it to prioritize the protection of its cultural and religious heritage over the demands of multiculturalism. Poland's resistance to illegal Muslim immigration is also informed by the perceived failure of multiculturalism in other parts of Europe. In recent years, countries like the United Kingdom, France, and Germany have experienced significant social unrest and violence involving Muslim migrants. These incidents have fueled concerns that the integration of Muslim immigrants into European societies has not been as successful as initially hoped. The rise of radical Islam and the growing influence of Islamic cultural practices in these countries have led to fears that multiculturalism could ultimately threaten the cohesion and identity of European nations. Poland's hardline stance on illegal Muslim immigration has made it a polarizing figure within the EU. While some Western European countries criticize Poland for what they see as xenophobic and isolationist policies, others view Poland as a defender of European civilization against the perceived threat of Islamization. Poland's position has found support among other Central and Eastern European countries, particularly Hungary and Slovakia, which share similar concerns about Muslim immigration. This has led to the formation of a loose alliance within the EU, often referred to as the Visegrad Group, which advocates for stricter immigration controls and greater national sovereignty in immigration policy. Poland's stance has also drawn criticism from human rights organizations and liberal politicians, who argue that the country's policies are discriminatory and undermine the EU's values of solidarity and human rights. These critics contend that Poland's refusal to accept Muslim refugees contradicts the principles of compassion and humanitarianism that the EU...
I wish they would stop calling it illegal alien rights, humanitarian rights. It's not about humans, because they don't give a crap about their own citizens. They only care about illegal aliens. So it's not about humanitarian like it's for humans. No, it's illegal alien rights, or illegal alien whatever. It's not about humanitarian rights. It's about illegal alien rights. That's all they care about. They think that they're better than us.
EU is supposed to uphold. Poland's role as a torchbearer in the European debate on illegal Muslim immigration and cultural identity reflects a broader trend of rising nationalism and skepticism towards multiculturalism in Europe.
These are the people. You know, I'm so tired of oppressed people acting like privileged people acting like they're oppressed. This is an army. Look at this, how they're treating the border. It's funny how you can have a guy standing up, kicking a guy on the ground, talking about how he's oppressed, but he's the one standing up kicking. You know what I mean? Like, these people are afraid. Do they look like they're afraid? They're afraid to go back to their own country. I'm afraid. Do they look afraid? They don't look afraid. They're afraid to me, man. What's funny is that most of them are from the same country. So if their country is so bad, they literally have an army. There's about 10,000 people at the thing at this time here. You know what I mean? You have a literal army, and you're telling me that you're afraid? You're afraid to go back to your country with an army. Yeah. Funny how you're not... See, you're afraid of a little tiny third world country, but you're not afraid of Poland? Really? That all makes sense. They're so entitled. Can you imagine just going up to some border of another country and just start destroying it and telling them how they're racist, that they don't let them in? Start throwing rocks and crap at them. This guy's got a sting shot. They throw spears in there, knives, and what happens when they all they do is give them water and spray? They need to start shooting these people. Okay, this is an invasion. When are you gonna wake up and realize it's an invasion?
Happens to be nice. You will die like a dog. The lowest unemployment in European Union is Poland. The highest GDP after COVID, Poland. One of the lowest debts, Poland.
This is Dominic, a member of the European Parliament from Poland, the country that just approved a new measure to shoot and kill anyone that tries to illegally enter their border.
Unfortunately, one of our soldiers was killed with a spear because they behave like animals. criminals, unfortunately. They don't behave like civilized people. We are the ones with this border. So we are protecting the whole Europe.
But Poland's strict border control and refusal to take in refugees from non-neighboring countries like Syria and Afghanistan has caused the EU to propose a €22,000 fine for each person Poland refuses to take in, and guys like Dominic to be labeled Islamophobic and fascist.
And Jean-Claude Juncker, the Commission President, says that you're racist. You sound proud of the fact that you haven't taken any refugees.
Of course, because this is what our people are expecting from our government. That's number one. This is why Poland is so safe. I don't care. I care about my family and about my country. When I see the wall, I do understand that this is for my future children.
Does Poland's strict border policy work? Is Poland significantly safer than the rest of Europe because of it? And do the people of Poland want open borders?
There are a lot of immigrants all around Europe, and sometimes it can be dangerous for the Europeans.
What are your thoughts on if you came here illegally? What should be done?
Oh, I guess I should go to prison.
Do you feel safe here in Poland as a woman?
Yeah, very much.
Do you feel safer here in Poland as a woman than you do in India?
Yeah, it's more safe.
Yeah.
It's more safe. A lot safe.
You can walk, like go to work at night, and nobody cares, and nobody's like threatening you.
Do you think having a more strict stance on the border keeps Poland safer, or?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
To see what Poland says is a hybrid warfare at play where Russia is sending migrants from China and Africa into Poland for them to then enter the rest of the EU and then financially and socially destabilize the rest of Europe. I met up with Dominique, member of the European Parliament and Poland's Law and Justice Party. Is this man a racist, alt-right Islamophobe as the mainstream media and leftist detractors call him? I want to ask him, how does Poland's new border wall work? Can any refugees come in? What is this hybrid war? And how does their border control differ from other EU countries? And more importantly, does it work?
And I'm very happy that we are on the street, not in the studio. Yeah. You can see and everyone can see Japan. Yeah, the difference. It's beautiful.
Would this look different in Paris, London, anywhere in Germany? What are your thoughts?
I think the easiest way to answer it is Eurostat is the most important when it comes to the data.
Okay.
The safest country in Europe, Poland. The lowest unemployment, Poland. The less crimes, Poland. So if you ask me about any data, we are leaders. Okay. And that is the fact. It's not my political opinion. Yeah. When I quote this in European Parliament, they were very unhappy. Discussion on migration started in 2015 when Germany started this madness. In 2018, I said quite famous words, zero illegal migration in Warsaw, in every single Polish city. We don't want any illegals. Then they called me Islamophobe. If someone is from China, if someone is from India, or someone is, it doesn't matter who he is, what he believes in. If he's illegal, we do not want that. The difference between refugee and a migrant, especially illegal migrant, is very, very, very clear. The refugee is the person who flee from the country of conflict to the first safe country. I didn't know that Syria is bordering country with Poland.
It's not.
It's not.
Okay.
So the first safe country. That is why we took over 2 million Ukrainians. Legal.
Because you are contiguous, you guys border.
That's right. That's right.
In the case of Syria, Afghanistan, Eritrea, that is not the case.
They are not refugees.
Yeah, by law they have to stop at the first safe country, but they're not. They're trying to pick and choose where they all go. And like he said, he's just took 2 million Ukrainians because the Ukraine country borders his country. He shouldn't have taken them in, but he did.
I'm trying to repeat it every single time. If you want to come, you can come. Submit your documents, ask for a visa, stay here for 6 or 10 months, pay taxes, contribute to the society, then you are welcome.
Why are Syrian, Afghanistan refugees coming to Poland and not
migrants?
UAE?
Why Qatar did not react? Why
weren't they going to Qatar?
Very rich Arab country.
Okay.
Where is Qatar? I'm trying to ask this question for years now. And I cannot find any answers because we've been told that this is a global problem, so there is a need for global solidarity. So there is no global solidarity.
Sure.
Like Qatar is the great example. Our soldier was killed with a spear by the illegal.
Terrible.
So that would happen on the streets if we would let them in. They started this madness by willkommen politik.
Okay.
That was the politic, welcoming illegals because they were hoping for cheap labor. Okay. They found out that those who came illegally, they don't want to work. they don't want to work, but there's much more crimes.
Sure.
So they said, okay, let's spread them around. Let's say that this is our responsibility and European solidarity, and then we're going to get rid of this problem. So in European Union, they started the thing they called quota system.
Okay.
Each country